pick that people want to go for, but is heavily countered by the Braum. So with FPX banning it, BLG say, well, we'll just have it for ourselves. That's not particularly a problem. And then FPX themselves have to go for this Alistair, get Jway a lot of playmaking capability, and you know, this is now, again, right, we talked about the fact that we're looking at mid lane in particular for FPX to be a bit of a carry force. I think for BLG that's the same case.
Oh, great patience. On already committed. Jway gets the flash pulverized to put on in his place, and that's first blood going over to Jauchi. As On and Shadow are going to try and punish Sheer. He still has a flash of his own, but he already used the equalizer to kill the wave. On commits the flash, looks for the stun.
This is
decent
Jway.
damage from Elk, but the TP with Jway will at least provide some assistance here, but he doesn't have a flash of his own, so he might have just teleported into his death, depending on how much damage the rest of BLG can get in reliably. And yeah, that just looked like a freebie going over to BLG.
Yeah, Jway with the highs, Jway with the lows, unfortunately there. That teleport, I think if it was a 2 versus 2, might have been okay, but unfortunately BLG overstacked the numbers. Make it 3, and now they want Sheer as well.
And you know what? Because Jway doesn't wait for the TP, this just ends up being a guaranteed dive play for BLG.
6, so can take some of the resists, make sure that somebody is a very, very squishy champion and squishy target. As it looks like FPX looking to contest. Remember, no flash on their mid laner, and Knight still with that scoop and flash available.
Yeah, the reprimands of that. Hang on. Might have sent it a little too early. Bin follows up with the Call of the Forge God. Great chain of corruptions. They kill off Jway. Looking at IYY next, who is caught in the thick of it. Sheer is looking for a great flank with the equalizer, but the rest of BLG are able to scatter. Care cannot get in range. He still doesn't have a flash, so he cannot get far enough to close the distance. Seismic shove barely misses, and BLG just walk out with all 5 members alive.
I want you to be looking for Elk and Knight in these equalizer situations, as we now see the ramifications. He doesn't think about flashing the Q from On, and the timing of which On goes in with his Q as game, and with the Rel has a very real opportunity versus triple immobile carries to be a massive threat.
Oh, look at this combo. The pillar guaranteeing the Call of the Forge God connects, and just...
Hey, Sheer, buddy.
I'm not one to...
07.
Yeah. He still has flash. He's got an equalizer. He's going to use it just to kill the wave, because might as well get some CS and gold for yourself before you eventually get wiped off.
What was happening in the meantime? We've just lost 4 people top lane. Well, because Care got chunked out and because Jauchi got chunked out, how dire straits this game #1 is. And honestly, this is really good, I think, if you're a BLG fan, because this is the type of game that you're expecting to see from them.
They've done an exceptional job of playing to their strengths on some of the pieces that can make plays early on, as On and Jway are tangoing, fighting around this river brush. Double TP's coming in. Great crash down, intercepting Sheer on the way in, and just as soon as he
was less than the time spent traveling across Summoner's Rift. He got absolutely melted. And now they'll take the Herald. They're going to look to open up tier 1 turret mid lane with 5 members strong, and the potential use of the Herald as well. They should be able to do this very easily, very quickly. But a final engage from Jway.
I mean, Jway gets dropped pretty darn low. They take out On of the pitcher, but the Call of the Forge God from Bin is great to set up another knockup onto Jway. And look at that shuffle from Knight, scooping up IYY over the other side of the wall. Curtain
down this game. It's been for the benefit of the rest of the squad, and everybody else, 0 death, 0 death, 0 death, 0 death. They are.
Second item about to come in for Bin as well. So BLG are well ahead of the curve here, and FPX are just...
Why did we make Baron spawn at 25 minutes? Like we're going to be sat twiddling our thumbs for so long, but IYY maybe caught pillar hits.
Oh boy, I think that pillar caught him as he was trying to EQ out. He goes down easily. Jway trying to set up a re-engage as Sheer flashing forward alongside Jauchi. They find a big shutdown onto Elk. Maybe it could be more, but they drop Jway in the end. And now here comes the rest of the BLG carries ready to just pick up the pieces here as Jauchi and Sheer managed to find an escape route far away from BLG. But BLG know that they don't need to continue getting kills on FPX members. They need to progress the game, and that's a free turret in the mid lane.
Yeah, I can just see on the mini FPX are playing here. They might be looking to find a little pick.
I mean, I like it. When you're down this far ahead in gold, you got to go for these cheese bush plays, and Jway is going to punt Knight right back into Jauchi's face. Big shutdown bounty goes over to Care's pockets, and now BLG, without their main Emperor, he's going to be gone for another 35 seconds. He has teleport, but this could be FPX's window to start the Otacon and just take it without a contest.
They have to start it, but it won't be without a contest.
Oh, another pick on is that Shadow?
Shadow's down.
Oh my god, that's big! FPX! They took out the jungler. Now there's no smite available unless On can swap to a spellbook smite. But remember, this is a weaker version, so it's going to be harder to pull off. IYY sends it. Cataclysm flash out to make sure that L can't go anywhere. FPX are turning it around. one onto Sheer, flashing forward before Care. He's down below 200 HP. Bin, it's got to be
TP in, here comes Knight.
Here comes Knight. They stalled out the fight long enough. Can the Emperor, the golden left hand, turn it around and save BLG's game from
CC?
He gets blown up. FPX are surviving.
With that seismic shove. And now they're fighting on live as well.
Oh my god, they picked off Shadow again, Rude! FPX! The prime of this composition has kind of passed that mid-game point, but IYY is going to send it anyway with Care. They're going to look for anything that they can get. The seismic shove still clips Elk, doesn't take him out completely. Care was forced to flash. Jway following up now, but here comes Bin with the call of the Forge God right on top. Equalizer trying to add into the hot pot. Knight trying to decide whether he wants to fight this one or not. Care surrounded now by Bin and Shadows. He's going to get chomped and bitten down to pieces. Now FPX are on the retreat. They've lost their mid laners all down to protecting Jotji on the way out. Knight trying to pursue him with the Sand Soldier, slowing him down. They've done away with the front line, and Jotji's got nowhere else to go. And BLG got a little bit messy a couple minutes ago, but they cleaned up the fight. They get the ace on the FPX, and they can now break open the base.
Yeah, look at how many people they lost as well, Rafa. Absolutely nobody. It's a clean ace, a swift one at that. And, you know, we had a little bit of a mess around the Atacon. Knight gets caught, and we give FPX a little bit of hope. But as soon as we reset, get 5 people back out on the map, BLG, with this better team fighting composition, are able to punish the overextension from FPX. Elk finally had his flashback up and finally was able to get out of a Cataclysm and baited in Care, baited in our.
They're going to be creative and think of ways to come back in this game.
Yeah, and I mean, this is a really good exercise for both teams, I feel like. For FPX, Jarchi likely to use the curtain call to find a way in for RYY.
Decent pick onto Knight, but he slides right back into the safety of the Baron pit. IYY's in there, but
Not
Shadow
quite.
secures the Baron. Curtain call bullets are flying, trying to get some decent damage into the members of BLG. On goes down, thanks to Jway, but traded immediately back onto Sheer and Jway himself. Shadow picks up the double, and now they are on the hunt, pursuing Jotji. The pillar forces him to flash. The Weaver's Wall will cut off some of the escape routes of BLG as they were trying to lock down remaining carries of FPX, but Shadow is cruising and styling. He's astro gliding on his former teammates in FPX, as he doesn't give a damn about which turret he crosses. He is ensuring that Care will fall, and BLG will now have the victory march to end game 1.
Yeah, and for Shadow as well, what a game number 1 up against your old team, right? This is a team that he's expected to come away out on strong terms with, but 10, 2, and 9 on the Trundle, the most kills.
Take your bases, get even more items and gold purchase for yourself. Jway trying to look for a potential engage under the safety of this turret before it does eventually fall, but IYY did take a lot of poke damage from the members of BLG, and now being able to shepherd in the minion wave in the mid lane while the rest of BLG tend to the minion wave in the bot lane. This should be an eventual siege that does break open the base completely for FPX.
This is the situation where you want to look at your engage tools that FPX have drafted to try and find you a fight.
Well, they're going to find a fight, but not on their own terms here, Rude. IYY sends in for the Cataclysm just to get blown up. Sheer falls next. Curtain call in the face of Shadow as he gets flung back with the seismic shove. Almost brings him down, but not enough to make it another death and kill for the side of FPX. Knight was trying to slide on in to see if he could catch Jotji. Maybe a little too close. The Weaver's Wall will cut him off. But Bin is so tanky that he is not going to care at all. And now the rest of BLG should be able to make short work of these Nexus towers. The teleport coming in for another reinforcement wave of BLG's mid laner as he swoops on in. The Emperor's Divide into Flash will put an end to FPX. And that is game 1 in the books. BLG lead the series.
We can probably just go all 5 champions want to do that diving and want to have that dive style. So FPX, they've got one track mind here. Their composition is an entirely sole identity. But the thing is that if they ever fall behind, yeah, that's one of those situations where, okay, I know I've got mid prio, I've got top prio as well, but if neither of those 2 lanes end up coming to help you, what's the point?
Oh, and nicely done by Bin with the E flash punch shear.
This is actually that the Kaiser is beginning to get solo XP and is going to be very accelerated on that experience game. Whereas Sheer, who's just hopped forward, no W now.
And still no flash available. Shadow can easily jump on top of him. IYY's here for the counter gank, but it just might be a little too late. Yes, they could maybe trade one back onto On as it comes at the cost of IYY's flash, but Shadow is still so strong in the early game against the Wukong. No Cyclone available, no CC, and Shadow and L can easily just gun him down. Jue will be able to make an escape with that dredge. Becomes lightning. Otherwise, that surely would have been a kill setup for BLG.
Yeah, you get stunned and knocked up at the same time with this Braum Xin Zhao combo.
Oh.
Hold on.
Turning it back around on the night. Nicely done by Care. Okay.
And then looking at the gold disadvantage that they're falling behind and that they're going to have to try and do that versus a Braum, and that really does feel...
A bit of tenacity as well as magic resistance for the burst damage. Sheer, though, might be in a world of trouble here as a 3-man dive is incoming.
Clear the wave!
He uses
Clear the
needlework
wave!
to clear the wave, but BLG are going to continue the dive anyway, and Knight can easily tank it up with the tower and Tibbers, and BLG pull off another kill onto Sheer.
Yeah, and this is the sort of 4th or 5th time in this series that they've been able to find Sheer isolated and sideways.
Oh, no!
Oh, dear. 1Q and dead. Okay. I mean, that's the power of Lucian Braum right there, and I love to see that Elka and On were actually willing to go for that. Jarchi really recognizing the burst potential of an, at the time, 2-0 Lucian.
Well, BLG, they didn't get the first 3 grubs, but they didn't even need the first 3 grubs to secure the first brick of the game. And they already got...
Bush that will spot him out if he steps too far forward.
He's just going to hop over the Rift Herald pit, trying to see if he can threaten Shadow that way. But, Jue got caught by On's Braum. The Rift Herald is secured by Care, out of all people.
Yeah, now there may be more, though, here after. You can see Care sneaks in, takes the eye, but BLG, they've taken the blue and they want more.
Care doesn't really have any more big spells left. He's just going to go for a full burst combo, but jumping into the face
Double
of
flash.
all 3 BLG members might have been a little ill-fated, and Care will toss his advantage away, trying to create something for the rest of FPX members, but IYY can't really get in there, forced to use the Cyclone just as a retreat method, and he dies anyway to Elk on the escape route, just getting gunned down in the streets, and Elk
immediately respond to the Aurora by flashing on top of her. Flash from Shadow for the knockup. On as well, trying to gold. They can continue to build out that gold lead and then attempt to push that advantage even. They're able to thwart it. Now Jarchi underneath this tier 2 turret. I don't know that he knows that there are so many people lurking trying to make him regret being here.
Oh, good side step.
Flash.
Did you really want to throw out the question mark emote? Well, I guess it comes at the cost of his flash. BLG are just running away with the game again here, Rude, and I don't...
in a series that maybe is more expected, but one that BLG can take home and be very confident in that they are making better choices.
And I remember less, and this should be the Otacon secured for free by BLG.
And I will say, looking back at FPX with Shadow, some of the wins that they got in split number 2, they take up boding for them, because that tends to be the regular season litmus test as to whether or not you are a top team or just having a little bit of a struggle. There's now IYY deciding he wants to fight, actually. Gets exhausted.
IYY might have thought that they had the numbers advantage since it's all 5 members here and only 2 showing. Shadow might be caught out. Crescent Guard delays the fight a little bit. Care gets a big shutdown bounty, and Between Worlds will at least end On's life. Ben now under fire as Jarchi goes for the chase with the killer instinct, but here comes Elk. That's the big daddy in Lucian. Now with the dual blick, he's looking to gun him down with the culling. Pew, 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 goes down 2 in an instant. BLG will continue to assert their dominance in this game as now Care will throw out a couple emotes as a plea for maybe some mercy, but there is no mercy in this dojo in the house of BLG. Knight will smite out his mid lane opponent, and BLG will continue to crash this minion wave into the base of FPX.
I was about to say it's giving a little bit of deja vu here. We hit the Atacon timer, and maybe there's a couple of issues for the Elk there, ready to rescue this. Have any of those game 1 blunders reappear in game number 2 as now Dre potentially just dead.
Yeah, he's gonna spider knot his way away.
Oh, and another one.
But
a donation.
Oh no, the teleport coming in. I mean, IYY is here, but does he really want to try and salvage Sheer? He just died again. It's like game 1 when he teleported in with the Rumble, and as soon as he popped in, he's like, it just gets deleted off the face of the Rift, and BLG are gonna be very, very grateful to just accept 2 free kills from the side of FPX, and now a 3-man squad gonna try to do their best. Yeah, I mean, it should be Baron time for BLG, and FPX are gonna do what they can for a Hail Mary, but I don't expect it to end well.
No, I do love this build for the Lucian. Trying to take down the Baron has now been maybe the focus.
Then maybe the sacrificial lamb here does flash over the wall. Jauchi commits with the killer instinct.
One more
auto attack. It's the flash. It's an 1100 gold bounty, but Knight with the flash W. There, he lands it this time. And now Jauchi throwing up the question mark emote once again.
A pace that is methodical and that makes sense as FPX look to get into the pit. The Drake's already gone.
Time, unless they just mess up and, I don't know, their hands get crippled or something, but I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. Care is looking for a flank here on the right side, gets spotted by that control ward, and they're already trying to turn the heat
Elk's
up on the IYY. They dropped Dway in an instant. Elk, I think, just did it all by himself, and yeah, good night, Care. Gets deleted from the Rift, and FPX now down to 3 members once again to try and make the impossible happen, which more than likely not going to be the case here. BLG just going to continue trucking on forward, taking out this inhibitor on the bottom side of the map. And look at the unbreakable shield, so much value. No damage coming in from FPX whatsoever.
One inhibitor down in the bot side. Final fight from FPX.
Flash Cyclone. Okay, Elk is eviscerated by Sheer with the needlework and the snip, 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 but still BLG remains strong with the remaining 4 members. And just like that, as we predicted, we thought it was going to be very dominant coming out for BLG, and the story did unfold just like that. BLG will sweep FPX 2-0.
Yeah, and honestly, a series